Welcome, foolish listeners, to Once Upon a Conspiracy, the podcast where we debunk the wildest, weirdest, and most wonderful Disney myths and conspiracies. I'm your host, Michaela Cohen, and today we're venturing into the spooky side of the parks, the ghost stories, said to haunt both Disneyland and Disney World. Now, when I say ghost, I'm not talking about the 999 happy haunts in the Haunted Mansion. Those ones are accounted for. I'm talking about the real ones, the park legends that blur the line between Disney magic and something otherworldly. From a spirit who still rides Space Mountain to a ghostly wielder on Pirates of the Caribbean, today we're asking, how much of this is pixie dust and how much might actually be true? Let's kick things off in Tomorrowland, home to rockets, stars, and apparently one very committed ghost, Mr. One Way. Legend says Mr. One Way is a ghost of a man who died on Space Mountain. He's said to appear next to solo riders, chatting them up during the ride, only to vanish before the coaster ends. Creepy enough on its own, but here's where it gets even weirder. Some cast members swear that security footage has caught glimpses of a mysterious figure hopping into an empty seat that nobody remembers boarding. Spooky, right? But here's the truth. There's no record of a death on Space Mountain that matches the story. What has happened is a few medical emergencies back in the late 1970s, but no confirmed fatal accidents. So maybe Mr. One Way is less of a restless spirit and more of a ghost story that caught a ride on the internet hype train. Still, it's a perfect reminder that even the most futuristic corner of Disneyland has its share of old-fashioned hauntings. Next stop, Adventureland, and across the country at Disney World, where one particular ghost seems to have become an honorary cast member. His name? George. According to legend, George was a wielder who died during the construction of the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. Supposedly, he still lingers inside the ride, right near the burning town scene. Cast members at Magic Kingdom have a tradition. Every morning say, "Good morning, George," and every night, "Good night, George." Forget to do it? Rumor has it the ride malfunctions. Boat stops, animatronics glitch, and chaos reigns. Even guests who joke that they don't believe in ghosts have claimed that the ride suddenly breaks down mid-journey. But here's the kicker. There's no official record of a wielder named George dying during construction. Yet the ritual continues. Half superstition, half cast member tradition. Proof that a good story can keep a ghost alive, even when the facts don't. And speaking of spirits that refuse to rest, let's talk about Walt's lamp. If you've ever strolled down Main Street, USA at Disneyland, you've probably noticed the glowing lamp in the window above the fire station. That was Walt Disney's personal apartment when the park was being built. After his death, the lamp was left on, permanently, as a quiet way to say that Walt's spirit still watches over his creation. But here's where it gets eerie. Several cast members have claimed that when they tried to turn off the lamp for cleaning or repairs, it turned itself back on. One even said she heard a soft whisper, "I'm still here." Is this an electrical glitch? Maybe, but it's hard not to imagine Walt himself still checking in on the dream he built. Of course, we can't talk about ghosts without mentioning one of Disney's most hauntingly iconic attractions, the Haunted Mansion. It's basically the ghost celebrity of the parks. It's no surprise that the ride about ghosts has its own share of ghost stories. Guests have reported unseen hands brushing their shoulders, shadows flickering in mirrors, and a voice whispering things that definitely aren't a part of the soundtrack. But the story that really sticks is the one about the crying boy. Legend says that a grieving mother scattered her son's ashes inside the Haunted Mansion without permission. Since then, some guests claim they've heard a faint sound of a child crying softly near the ride's exit. And here's the chilling part. Disney's custodial staff has confirmed finding ashes inside the ride, multiple times. They even have a secret code for it, called HEPA cleanup. So while the crying boy's spirit might not be proven, the ashes part, that's 100% real. Then there's Lil Leota, the tiny ghost bride that whispers, Hurry back. Be sure to bring your death certificate. Cast members swear that sometimes Lil Leota doesn't stick to her usual lines. Some have heard her call out specific guests by name. Maybe it's just a sound glitch, or maybe she's chatting with the crying boy who never left the ride. But whether it's a glitch, a ghost, or something in between, the mansion isn't giving up its secrets anytime soon. Outside the main attractions, the ghost stories only get stronger. Take the Monorail Ghost, for example. This one is tied to a real tragedy. During grad night, which is a special after-hours celebration where high school seniors get exclusive access to Disney, unlike mine, which is at Universal Studios. But hey, we're talking about Disney here. So a teenager tried to sneak into the party by climbing onto the monorail track. He was hit and killed before security could stop him. Ever since, guards have reported seeing a shadowy figure running alongside the tracks late at night, only to vanish right before their eyes. Then, over at Tangoro Terrace, cast members talk about floating utensils and footsteps that echo when no one's there. Then, over in Toontown, doors slams and trash cans move on their own after hours. And sometimes, deep in the Disneyland tunnels, workers catch a whiff of cigarette smoke. Some background information: Walt Disney was a smoker, and smoking wasn't banned in the parks until after his death. Because of that, some believe the scent could simply be leftover residue trapped in the tunnels or older parts of the park from before it was banned. Others think it's Walt himself, still keeping an eye and a nose on the kingdom he built. Okay, so full disclosure, this next one is my dad's least favorite ride in the entire park. And honestly, after hearing the stories that are about to come up, I kind of get why. We're taking a trip through one of Disney's most suspiciously cheerful attractions. It's A Small World. You know the one: bright colors, endless smiles, and the song that burrows its way into your brain and sets up camp for eternity. But beneath all that glitter and global harmony, there's something off. Most of It's a Small World's ghost stories come from Disneyland in California, though a few guests at Florida's Walt Disney World swear that they've had strange experiences there too. Seems like no matter which coast you're on, this boat ride might have a few extra passengers tagging along. While there's no official ghost tied to the attraction, both guests and cast members have reported some unsettling movements late at night when the parks are closed and everything should be quiet. People say they've heard water splashing and strange mechanical clicks echoing through the canals, even when the animatronics should be powered down. Others describe an eerie sensation, like they're being watched. And those dolls? Yeah, the cute, wide-eyed ones singing about world peace. Their identical faces have made more than a few guests uneasy. Some even swear the doll's head turns or the doll's eyes follow them through the ride. Realistically, it's probably just lighting tricks and motion illusions, but still creepy. And then there's this one Reddit user who claimed that they got on the ride with unexplained scratches on their arms with no clear cause, just marks, as if something reached out during the song. So, next time you're floating through the pastel paradise, surrounded by smiles and song, just remember, every world, no matter how small, has its secrets. Oh, and before we wrap things up, I've got to give an honorable mention to the ghosts in my Disney and Beatles horror-themed dorm. It doesn't ride Space Mountain or whisper from the Haunted Mansion. It just turns on my roommate's candle lamp almost every night. But we love you, Wallace. Maybe he's just drawn to the light, or maybe he just really loves the smell of Belgian waffles. Either way, it's my own little happy haunt. So, what's the verdict, foolish listeners? Are these ghost stories proof that the happiest places on Earth are haunted? Or just the perfect blend of nostalgia, superstitions, and imagination? Maybe it's both. After all, Disney magic doesn't always come with fairy dust or fireworks. Sometimes it's in the stories we whisper, the mysteries we can't quite explain, and the feeling that something or someone might still be there. Thanks for joining me on this haunted ride through Disney's ghost stories. I'm Michaela, and this has been Once Upon Conspiracy. Until next time, keep your hands, arms, and curiosity inside the podcast at all times, and beware of hitchhiking ghosts.